Okay, I might have just picked up one of my new top 5 manga in this manga haul, and boy, I wasn't expecting it, but here we are, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. It's so good, though. Like, it's so good. I can't wait to talk about it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 5, Volume 7. It's JoJo's. If you see behind me, I always collect JoJo's. Honestly, Part 5 is not one of my favorite parts, but I always gotta collect them. You know? Listen, I gotta collect them. I hear ya. Sakamoto Days, Volume 6. This is one of my current favorite ongoing Shonen Jump titles. I love Sakamoto Days. I love the world they've set up. I love the Hitman aspect of it. It's such a fun manga to read. I highly recommend it if you like action. If you like the movie John Wick, it's great for that. But yeah, it's a volume 6. You know, I've talked about it. It's Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days. It's pretty good. Tokyo Aliens Volume 2. I actually wanted to do a whole video on the first volume of this series because I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. It is a really fun, kind of has an old school shonen manga vibe to it. Like, you know, from back in the day. It's basically about these two kids. And one of them is kind of like the mysterious high school kid that's actually part of a secret organization to like hunt down aliens. In Tokyo Aliens. Don't know if you know. That's where the title comes from. And the art is really good, I think. Like, pretty good. Nothing super crazy. But if you like Tokyo Ghoul, Men in Black, a little bit. It's kind of got Men in Black vibes. A little bit of Shaman King mixed in there for good measure. I think you should definitely give the first volume of Tokyo Aliens a shot. Candy and Cigarettes Volume 3. This was another one. It's kind of like Sakamoto Days, you know, a little bit. But this was another one that kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I have read the first volume of this and really enjoyed it. It's kind of got that noir feel to it. But it has a little bit more of a serious tone than Sakamoto Days. It kind of gives you... It kind of spins the duo buddy cop noir story on its head with the girl and this old man, and I just think it's super interesting and really well done if you like detective noir stories. I highly recommend it. Island in a Puddle Volume 5. This is actually the final volume. It's only a 5-volume series. It's from the same series as Erased. I might have talked about Island in a Puddle before. There is something about it. I don't like trip over myself because it's so good. But there is something that has intrigued me all the way through. I've actually never read Erased, so I own it. Just haven't gotten around to reading it. So I kind of did this backwards, but I really like the vibe that this manga gives off, and it has been such an interesting ride. Again, I don't put it in the upper echelon of manga, but I still cannot really wait to read and see how this series actually ends. So it's 5 volumes. I really dig the covers. I think the covers are super unique and super nice and colorful. And this story is not colorful. Like, it's very juxtaposition of the actual story in this volume. So honestly, I should probably read that Erased. I hear that Erased is pretty good, especially if I enjoyed this series. Blue Lock Volume 5. It's Blue Lock. Just read, watch, experience Blue Lock. I love Blue Lock. I think it's fantastic. I still put Haikyuu above it. But this is, if you want shonen battles, Dragon Ball Z level battles on the soccer field, I think Blue Lock is so fun. It's so fun. Watch the anime is great. The manga is great. Just experience Blue Lock. It's so good. So cool. So fun. Way of the Househusband Volume 9. Here's the thing. In the manga community, you remember when Way of the Househusband, like Volume 1, Volume 2 came out, and people were like always talking. I don't hear nobody talking about this. Listen, I still think the comedy is so great. The main character, the house husband in Way of the Househusband, is still really plays for me. I haven't fully watched all of season 2. I know the anime Netflix adaptation came out. I haven't finished that, but regardless, it's a slice of life comedy manga, and I really enjoy the characters, and I'm gonna ride with this series until either the end or they cancel it or they stop making it. I really enjoy it. Go Go Loser Ranger Volume 3. I know I have talked about this series before, but let me tell you, I don't know if there's a series that has surprised me more. Well, actually, we're about to get to the series that surprised me to no end in this haul. But Go Go Loser Ranger, I had heard some manga YouTubers talk about it, and I love Power Rangers. I have the nostalgia for Power Rangers. I have not kept current with Power Rangers, but Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a big part of my childhood. Same with like Lost in Space, Lost Galaxy, Turbo. I'm not going to sit here and name off Power Ranger series, but I think this is such a unique and interesting story, and the way that they kind of use that Power Ranger nostalgic and turn it on its head, and you watch this Putty. If you don't know, putties were the things Power Rangers fought, and watch him try to infiltrate. I don't really want to spoil a lot of things, but try to infiltrate the Power Rangers and them as actually the bad guys, because they really have beaten the big bad guys, and they just kind of want to put on this show for the general population and let their popularity increase for some, for their own personal selfish needs. And it really turned that genre and that nostalgia of that franchise on its head for me, and I've really enjoyed it. It's super good. Really fun read. Attack on Titan Omnibus. Yeah, I know. Listen, I need to read Attack on Titan. I keep collecting these omnibuses because I know I'm going to dig this series enough to really want to read through it. And I don't know how many volumes there are, but this goes all the way to volume 27. So I believe I'm pretty close to having the whole series, actually. And I definitely think this is going to be a series that once I have it complete, I'm just going to binge it. And hopefully the hype of Attack on Titan really lands for me. So those are some of the series that I always collect, but this month I tried out 2 brand new series that I knew nothing about, and I've actually read them. One I've read halfway through. This one I have read, there's only 1 volume out, and I've read the whole volume. Here are my thoughts. Choujin X. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Choujin? That's how I pronounce it reading this whole thing. Let me know in the comments down below if you pronounce it differently. It is from the creator of Tokyo Ghoul. Here's the thing. I know I own the Tokyo Ghoul box sets. I actually haven't read those series all the way through. So there you go. But I have read this entire volume. The manga community really got behind this volume. I've seen a lot of people that at least I follow talk about this. So I was like, I got to give it a shot. Here's the thing. I think the art can be really striking at times. And I think the story and the way that they are setting up that there are different Choujins around, there's a beast type Trojan. I see the world that he is trying to build, and it could be really exciting. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think having the double story, and maybe it connects later on and makes it a little bit better, but the smoke Trojan with the airplane with the girl, you got kind of that story going, and then you got the 2 buddy stories going here, and it seemed very much like 2 stories. And usually you kind of have a reason that this author is telling this story, and then there's this story over here that he's telling, because they kind of end up meeting. And again, there's not that many chapters in this first volume, so this is just a first volume impression. But none of the characters, except for the main guy, like the main guy that got turned into a buzzard, basically. He definitely has that interesting story of he's trying to find himself, because he has always just kind of followed around his other buddy that's always been super popular, and he's kind of been this quiet. And now something happens. I'm not going to give away the first volume. I definitely think you should read it, form the opinion yourself. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. I guess if I had to put a number on it for some reason, I would say like 7 out of 10. It's kind of where I would land with it. But I definitely think that if you have heard other people talk about it and you have any interest, absolutely check out this first volume. It's a new series. Maybe you'll like it. Okay, and for the coup de grace, the grand finale, the series that I am absolutely obsessed with, and am halfway through the entire series because I ended up buying the entire series. Drum roll. Go. Yeah. Yeah. Silver spoons. Silver spoons. Let me tell you, silver spoons. All right, let's talk about it. Look at this man hanging out with this cow. Okay, backstory. As you guys know, I own all of Full Metal, the Full Metal editions. Haven't read through that series. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I hear you. It's probably pretty good. But, boy, this series, you would think about this. You would think, guy going to agricultural school, just hanging out on the farm life, learn about farm things. Literally, not much happens in this manga, but for some reason, I am so drawn in. I am so incredibly drawn in, and I think it is genius the way that this creator builds these characters and builds these situations where not only do some of the comedy is like really absurd and really funny, while also swinging back and hitting you with kind of a life lesson that I feel like you can bring into your actual life. I've never experienced that with a manga before. That perfect blend of absurd, funny comedy while also giving you life lessons. Boy. Oof. Boy. And here's the thing, and I'll be completely honest with you, right? I just freaked out because, it's the greatest. Seriously, though, I really have to think about this manga before I really start saying some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm not saying that quite yet. Maybe one day. But it's one of those manga that I might never recommend to somebody. Because honestly, I could totally see how someone would get nothing out of it. And someone would be bored to death by it. Truthfully. I think it has to hit you at a right moment, and maybe it was like the right moment for it to hit me. Because without a doubt, it feels like everything this author is trying to do, whether it be the comedy, whether it be the life lessons, whether it just be characters, and these characters get introduced to him, and you're like, I kind of know somebody like that. It hit me at the right time, so that's why I'm it's kind of hard pressed for me to be like, go out, you should check, boy, silver spoons, look at that cow, pork bowl, never forget. Pork bowl, if you know, you know. Pork bowl, am I right? In the comments right now, just give me like a thumbs up. You're right. Pork bowl, let me tell you. But I will probably end up doing a whole video on this because I don't want to bore you guys that are just here for like the manga haul and stuff like that. But if you are at all interested in a slice of life comedy with, I think, some really important messaging behind it, give it a shot. Check it out. I think it could be really cool. Or on the flip side, I think you're either going to think, man, this is awesome, or boy, hey, Pep, man, hey, man, listen, I like you. You're cool and funny and stuff, but nope, not for me. And I completely understand that because it's not for everybody, but it's for me. And I am so happy that this one time, you guys know this, I pot commit to stuff. This one time, it has paid off, and I am in love with this series. I'm waking up super early just to get through another volume. I'm going to bed super late just to get through another volume. I will be crushing through this series. I think I got like 6 more volumes left of a 15 volume series. And I can't love it more than I love it right now. Let me know in the comments down below what you picked up, what you're excited to read, what you saw from my pickups that you're like, hey man, that should jump to the top of your list. Like right now it's Silver Spoons. So, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, especially those that made it to the end of this video. It means the world to me. I appreciate you guys. And as always, if you're having a bad day, I hope it gets better. And if you're having a good day, I hope it becomes fantastic. Like Silver Spoons. I'll see you next time.